Hey, what's going on, everybody? Well, you know what? Last time we did this show, I am referring to the Horror Roundtable, fucking bombed. It was shit, and I don't know what happened exactly. Because my show is basically just me running my mouth for an hour, and then that show was just me running my mouth for an hour. Each time I had different guests, and somehow the episodes do really well, but the Horror Roundtable was just a complete failure. But, like John Holmes, I'm going to keep cramming it in there until they accept it. So, boom, here we are, another Horror Roundtable right here. Now, we are using the chicken house. You did get permission from Cheney, right?
I did.
I just feel kind of weird, I kind of feel like, I don't know, we didn't really get, I didn't talk to the guy.
Well,
he
he just kind of fell off the map, so I took it over. I said, fuck him.
Fuck him, alright.
I am Teddy Watts.
This is Teddy Watts right here. You guys all know Simon Terrell, lead singer of Open Grave.
Fuck yes.
Of course, my sweetie Maya's here. And I am, of course, the movie Phantom. So, I know as I'm talking off camera, like my head's being cut off right now. But that's okay, because that's the kind of director I am. I'm like, fuck it, we don't dumb it down for the audience. We just do it. So, like with every horror roundtable, by every, I mean that last one, we just kind of kick around shit that's horror related. Except this time I got some just random shit. So we're just gonna kind of kick it around, see where it takes us. Everybody can throw in their opinions. So, bam! I think the biggest news, I don't know if you guys been keeping up with it or not, but Paramount got the rights back to Friday the 13th.
I saw that.
Oh, I thought you were going to say God's coming back, but go ahead.
It kind of is, really. I mean, let's think about it this way. In the decade that Paramount had, or the under decade that they had, the rise of Friday the 13th, 8 movies. 8 fucking movies. In like the 2 decades that New Line had it, 4. Are you fucking kidding me? That's ridiculous. And then once when New Line took over, it should have been just tits. It should have been like, it's the house that Freddy built. New Line's not bad. They're not slouching when it comes to horror. They're really not. In fact, Paramount really is. Like, how many Paramount movies do you know that like, horror, No, there's not very many at all. New Line, dude, and I really dropped the ball big time. Don't get me wrong, now I enjoy Jason X, and I enjoy the movies, but I'm like, there should have been more. That's all I'm saying. So we'll start over here. Teddy Watts, what's your thoughts on Paramount getting the?
Paramount got South Park in that deal too.
Yes, I did see that, and there's actually another little thing we're gonna hit with Paramount too. They rumor, I don't know if it's gonna get it or not, but it's rumored right now.
I'm actually not familiar with my production company, so you just move on.
Oh, would you? All right, Mr. Terrell.
I think it's great. I'm looking forward to it, but I mean, but at the same time, it's hard in 2013 to really get your hopes up about that because are they just gonna do a sequel to the remake, which I didn't like.
No, you didn't like the remake, oh.
Not really.
Okay. Reasons?
I don't know. It was just. I mean, I'm all about the killing and stuff,
Yeah.
but it was just so like this boom, 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 boom. There wasn't a whole lot of story, but then again, like, when is there ever a Friday the 13th movie?
Yeah. I could argue that one, but I agree. I know what you're saying. I think it's I think it kind of went out for that. And as much as I hate to try to side on anything like Michael Bay related, I think they were just like, let's just throw out, and it really was. I mean, if you look at the story and the movie itself, it's a generic Friday the 13th entry. It's just like, let's just fucking throw one together, but it was fun to watch.
And I thought Jason looked good. I mean, I thought they did really
well. Oh, yeah, no, Jason
character.
I think Derek Mears did really good. I love, and everybody's like, because he ran, like, it didn't really have much to do with the running. It's just, he just looked a little more frightening. And, yeah,
he wasn't
scene.
dead in that movie.
No, I mean, yeah,
he's
you're right.
still alive.
Yeah. So, I mean, the next one will be the 13th, Friday 13th movie, and I'm really hoping they take that into account. I really hope they're going to take that, or they have to, because they count the crossover.
But what I was getting at, sorry,
no,
was that are they going to make a sequel to the remake? Are they going to reboot again? Are they going to try to continue from Jason X or something? I mean,
now what would you want exactly? Like if you were, like let's say like they come to Simon and they're like, listen, man. We're a big fan of your music. We really, we know you love horror. You're passionate. We don't want this to fuck up. Here, what direction are we taking this? Where would you want to go with it?
I don't know. I would like to see it go into. I mean, and I guess maybe saying I didn't like the remake was maybe a little bit of an understatement because they kind of did that, like, or maybe it was a misstatement. But maybe just another old school, like, because I definitely would not want to see a sequel to Jason X. I don't want to see. Yeah. Them in the future on Earth 2 or wherever they landed. Super Shredder Jason. I'd say another. It could be a sequel to the remake, or it could be a new reboot, whatever. I think a new like standalone.
Who's your Jason?
I think they could just stick with this same guy.
Really?
I mean, it's a big dude that wears a bunch of makeup and a mask.
Yeah, it's not really about.
Whoa.
It's not really always about the actual actor. And
I mean, Kane Hodder is the best Jason.
Bring him back. That's all I'm saying. Bring him back.
Can he do it? I mean, he's like,
why couldn't he?
60.
It's all right. If you had to cheat with a stunt double for some of the
But
stuff,
I know, it's like, what's he gonna do? Fucking like 5 minutes of the movie, and then it's just gonna be Derek Mears as a stunt double doing the rest of it.
The guy who did it for Freddy vs. Jason, this little scrawny guy, and it cuts back and forth. I'd be okay with that. Make it happen.
See, I did not like the Freddy vs. Jason.
I didn't like the Jason. I liked the movie. I didn't like the Jason. I
Yeah.
agree. He was just kind of a pussy looking. Well, I think it made him that way. They want to make him look vulnerable, and I think that's the problem. Like, really, he's a psychotic killer. You shouldn't. I mean, you really shouldn't. I mean, maybe make the character vulnerable without making him look vulnerable.
Actually, to go into more detail, not a huge fan of any of the new line Friday the 13th.
See, I didn't care for the first one, Jason Goes to Hell, except for that last.
I hated
minutes.
the shape-shifting thing and the snake.
Yeah,
and,
I agree. I mean, it's the
The
weakest.
little nod to Evil Dead,
It's my weakest.
which was the same exact Necronomicon used in Army of Darkness because they were filming
Yeah,
this down the road.
I
from
didn't
each
know
other.
that. Yes. No, actually, you know what? I'll take it back. I liked it better than Manhattan. I thought Manhattan.
Well,
was
I
a good
know.
one.
Well,
Yeah.
they definitely started to slap
Yeah,
off.
I know, I know.
7 was probably the last really good one.
Yeah.
Because it had that old school feel, though. It still
Yeah.
felt like all the other ones. It was just.
Well, I mean, I did like bringing a different supernatural aspect into where you had the girl with the telekinesis. I thought that was kind of neat. You know, I thought that was definitely a good thing. Okay, well, we'll go through each of them then. Okay, so you didn't like the shapeshifting. What about Jason X? Was there anything you didn't like about it?
Oh, just a lot of it.
Just the concept of them going to space?
The
or?
future, the space, the super Jason,
Yeah.
and all that. Like
I hate
Just
the
right
idea.
over the top. Just kind of out of
it
line
was
for Jason.
because you know we've had this discussion before, probably off camera, but I'm not a sci-fi fan.
Yeah.
Very, very little. Like the Alien
Yeah,
movies,
I'm
I like
saying,
those.
That and once they run horror movies so long, they always try to go sci-fi.
They do,
We
that
discussed
is-
this before.
And I do know that the horror and sci-fi have huge crossover fans. I mean, these
Yeah.
are just anytime you go to like a horror or a sci-fi convention, it's going to be a lot about
Some bleed over there. I mean, you're definitely going to have, some horror things
You
there.
know, I can understand them wanting to do that to try to find a new fan base for Friday the 13th. But at the same time, it's like that was when that came out, 2003.
Yeah, something like that.
You know, that was 23 years into their career.
Yeah.
Do they really need to try to build a new fan base at this time?
Agreed. My thing with Jason X is I like the movie, and I will never go back on that. It was a great movie. It was a good movie. Problem is, it does take away from the rest of it. Like it made a break. It made a fracture in whatever storyline they were building there. I mean, granted, Jason Goes to Hell was a different feel, and an argument can be made that there's no continuity between any of the movies anyway.
That's what I was going to say.
However, it is on a certain path. Maybe the path's broken, but it's still on a path. Whereas Jason X, bam, veers this way, where it's like you couldn't build on that if you wanted to, unless you're going to keep it in space. I mean, you can't just be like we're traveling back in time, unless you did another sci-fi
Do you think
ridiculous.
they really tried to plan that out though?
Fucking Jason meets Marty McFly.
That's the movie I want to see. That's the one I want to see.
Back to the Friday the 13th.
And the 50th, yeah, it's actually the original, like he's a kid, but you got
Yeah.
Marty McFly on like a skateboard, and Jason's on a skateboard too. Kane Hodder on a skateboard. That's what I want to see right there. Let's make that happen.
But
And then of course, Freddy vs. Jason did the kind of same thing, whereas I liked it.
Dude, I
it
thought
also
it was so
it's
cheesy,
on a totally
so
different.
overhyped. So man, there was so much about Freddy vs. Jason I don't like that. I mean, I probably couldn't even say all of it because I'm just all scatterbrained all the time. But I mean, just again, 10. Well, since the end of Jason Goes to Hell.
Mhm.
So we're talking like 10 years, and I believe Jason X was like 01, Freddy vs.
Yeah,
Jason was
03, yeah.
So my bad, but anyways, so 10 years in the making. The
And that's
glove
what they came
comes
up
out,
with.
gets the mask,
Yep.
and it's like everybody's like, "Holy shit!" In the next couple of years, we're gonna get Freddy vs. Jason.
And we should have.
I think it would have been
Fucking
better in the early '90s.
Yeah, because it was still. That's getting to the end of like the big slasher boom. I mean, you can argue that the slasher boom was out like toward the end of the 80s, but there were still some hanging in there, and it would have made more sense then because I think anything post that, really post Scream, became like this postmodern feel where it's like kind of a nod and a wink into like, we know it's a ridiculous slasher movie, let's have fun with it. And I think that's the main argument you can have there is like the fact that it was way too fluffy and way too light, where I think I want more of a dark edge to it. But I guess, once again, when you have a Freddy vs. Jason type concept, it's kind of hard to make it that serious, you know.
And it's no secret that I'm like a big, huge professional wrestling fan.
No,
but when I was reading up on Freddy vs. Jason prior to its release, there was I think Fangoria released a special magazine that was, the whole magazine was Freddy vs. Jason. And one of the interviews with the director, and he said, I choreographed the fight scenes from the WWF. I mean, I don't know what he was going for with that comment, but I didn't like that at all. And once I saw the movie, like, it was very, apparent. That,
I didn't know that. See, I mean, unless he's like throwing suplexes, I mean, I would.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There wasn't no like obvious wrestling moves and shit, but I mean,
I did like the showdown. We did this when we did the review for this. Recently, we did it like a couple weeks ago for Freddy vs. Jason, and I said then like I do like the fight scenes. I thought it kind of made Freddy look more badass just because, and I mean, in doing so, you made Jason more of a pussy and retarded, but. Just seeing Freddy throw his fucking elbows in there as he's like fighting him, I like that. Like I thought that was really cool. Granted, it was a little too kung fu-y at times, and that's more just due to the director Ronnie because he's from Hong Kong. So, but I don't know. I mean, I guess, and just going back to what reason we brought this whole thing up to begin with is, I mean, I guess for me, the next Friday 13th, I want something special. I mean, this is the 13th movie with the Friday 13th banner. With
what do you want? What do you want?
I think, in all honesty, I want to go full circle in a certain way. I want to reveal a new aspect to his past. Let's bring his father into it somehow. Let's do something like that. I mean, it don't have to be an epic. I'm not asking for like a Dark Knight feel. I'm just saying I want something a little something more that will actually, because I mean, once again, seeing Friday 13th, the remake, I got what I wanted. Just Jason, some naked girls killing, and boom, that's a movie, and I'm happy with that. So my expectation level ain't that high. I'm not thinking like this is going to be the best thing. Just add a little on top of that, so it will exceed my expectations. Let's go a little deeper with the story. Let's give a new twist to it. I'm not sure what you would do with it. I would say for one, let's not try to connect it with any of our movies. Let's keep it in the Friday 13th universe. Let's not try to add. As much as I would love to see a Freddy versus Jason versus Ash.
You don't want Jason versus the Piranha.
You know what the Piranha?
See, that was what I was going to say too. Is like a joke. That now that New Line's lost Friday the 13th, we won't see Freddy vs. Jason 2.
I wanted to see it. Did you ever read the comic book?
You told me about it.
And it was great. But once again, it was more on that comical level. I mean, it would have fit the Freddy vs. Jason film because you have Ash doing one-liners and everything like that. And it would have been great. But at the same time, now, I wouldn't want to see that just because I'm like, fuck it. Let's do, Jason is gone now, so let's do our own thing with it. So, what about you, Sweet? What's your 2 cents on... Now, you've seen all the Friday 13s recently. You've been watching them all. Do you have, can you tell the difference between the Paramount ones and New Line ones, or no, nothing?
New Line ones are definitely sleeker and cleaner, I think. But that's what I like about the old school.
Exactly. I like that feel to them. I like that.
And not to get off topic, but that's what I like the most about Rob Zombie's movies. Is because even though they're modern, they look old. They got a
Rob
gritty,
Zombie,
nasty,
Eli Roth, and I can never pronounce that dude's name, Alexander
That works.
Yeah, they all have like that old school, I'm going to use the phrase, fuck it, grindhouse feel, because, and it does though, I mean, Hills Have Eyes, I didn't care for the movie, but I love the look of it. Even Texas, I don't know who did, was it Marcus Nepal who did?
Nispel,
yeah. He did that one. He made that one look grittier, but then of course the Friday 13th looked very glossy, which I thought was kind of odd, but yeah. I like that. I agree. I like that look too. So hopefully the next one will kind of go back to that roots maybe. And don't overdo it though. I mean, I don't want to make it look like like it was a grind. But just I don't know. Don't have to clean it up and polish it as much. So. All right. Well, let's move on. I talk about Paramount. You talk about they got South Park as well. Now who had that before? Was it in Paramount at Viacom?
I don't know. I mean, not to be like some kind of South Park poser because I love the show, but. I thought it was just Comedy Central. Oh,
well, see, I know the DVDs, now that's distribution, not necessarily, thing. But I know the DVDs were Paramount, that's why I didn't know, So
we're talking about a new movie?
Well, they just got the rights to it now. Is that what you're saying? They got the rights to it now? Okay.
It was a little package, and I'm sure you said you're gonna.
Yeah.
touch on
Well,
it.
in the article about Friday 13th, South Park was mentioned, but then the next day they dropped this one on there. Now this was at written time. They didn't know this is all in the air. They're trying to get the rights to Terminator, and they're wanting to get a Terminator 5. Now have they got it yet, or is it still?
That's not what I was thinking. See, there was another thing in there, and I couldn't remember what it was because from what I read, that there was the deal. Paramount wanted something, and
Hand jobs.
it was something big, and they got it, but in the process acquired Friday the 13th and South Park again. But whatever the original thing was supposed to be the big story, but Friday the 13th kind of became like well, fuck that other shit. You know?
Well, you know what's funny though is the fact that it's kind of back for a split second is like the story has always been like Paramount was always a little embarrassed that Friday the 13th became the hit that it was because they just didn't like the fact that this little slasher fucking teeny movie somehow became like one of their biggest properties, and they was always kind of resentful of that. Now, I mean, how true is I don't really know, but I just know like from like what I've read on, or seen on special features or read online that of course when the deal went down and New Line picked it up, they were almost happy to get rid of it. Right? Fuck it, 8 underperformed, so boom, good riddance. So I just thought it's kind of weird they actually got it back. So I just kind of picture like another guy up there who was either
a younger generation.
He was, maybe you grew up watching it, or it's like, he's like, fuck it, yeah, I'll take it. I mean, look, it's like that in South Park, like two things, like, you wouldn't really think like a prestigious company would want, and there you go. Well, Terminator 5, what are you guys' thoughts on this? Are you guys fans of the Terminator? We'll start over here.
I like 2 the best.
Yo, 2's great, yeah.
And like, because 2 is probably the first one that I ever saw in my life in the series.
Same here.
And like in the theaters, I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And I think it was a drive-in situation because it was playing probably with something else that I wanted to see. And Terminator 2 was like, okay, the other movie. But anyhow, so I caught the first one. I remember I caught it like on TV or something. And was like, it just wasn't even close to being the same.
Is that about 3?
Not the
original.
Terminator.
Original? No, it wasn't the same at all. But
and then and I saw 3 also at the drive-in with Freddy versus Jason.
So you're happy. You're just like, this is the best double feature you could possibly ever have.
And there was another one too. It was like Memorial Day triple feature or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember the other movie if that tells you anything. But I didn't like it. Thought it was super cheesy. Is Rise of the Machines the next one?
No, Rise of the Machine, the third one. Salvation was the fourth one.
Salvation, yes, Salvation. Liked it. Actually liked it a lot because I like backstory stuff.
Yeah.
And
there were so many small details that referred to Judgment Day in that.
Oh man, when they played the Guns N' Roses
song.
You
Can Be Mine, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, one of the few parts I actually like them is like,
I was waiting for Bobby Budnick to run up.
But yeah,
yes, awesome reference right there. Points for that.
Some of the things you're talking about is like when he first crawls out of the big mess where they've gone in, and he just turns his head, just like Arnold did in Judgment Day.
Oh yeah.
The small thing get you so excited.
Now that was a cheer in the audience whenever Arnold is revealed at the end there, dude. Everybody fucking. Yeah, it was great. I mean, it's really the only way you could really do it to make it look good, for one. And 2, it was just, I'm not gonna lie, to me I thought the movie was a little mediocre. It wasn't bad, I enjoy it, I own it. But at the same time, it didn't live up to 1 or 2 in my books. However, that scene, dude, it was phenomenal.
I would have to put it like, it's hard to say this because Judgment Day is one of my all-time favorite movies. Grew up.
Really? Wow, cool.
But I would put it right with Judgment Day. As in quality, direction.
You talking about Salvation or
Salvation?
Okay.
I think that was a damn good subtitle for it because it definitely salvaged the series.
Yeah, because Rise of the Machines was very, very disappointing.
Oh my god, it was.
What?
I think they were like, fuck. Whatever. Let's just appeal to to an audience. Let's mainstream audience, and let's do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Because Salvation.
It's a lot of action. It was like a fucking Michael Bay film.
It really was. Yeah.
3 did. I guess it did all right, but I think Salvation seemed like it was kind of a bomb.
It was, and thing is, they were planning,
because it was the shit.
Yeah. Well, it was planning to do a new trilogy with Christian Bale as John Connor. That was the plan. And then after after Salvation underperformed, or it's like, fuck that. Thing is, the entire Terminator franchise has been in the shitter always. Like after 2, Artisan somehow the deal dropped out, and then no one owned it. And then whoever had 3 did 3. And then they lost it, and then someone else in between picked it up and lost it.
So I don't know if you guys actually know, there was actually a 30-minute movie that they made for the ride Terminator that was at Universal Studios.
And people said that's badass as hell. It actually had John Connor, Linda Hamilton, John Connor, Edward Furlong, Linda Hamilton, and Arnold. And of course, Cameron directed it. And
pretty much you're sitting there. I mean, it's really cool. It's like an interactive movie. You're sitting there in the theater. Your seats move. You know, you got fucking.
Are you fighting T-100?
Well, you got T-1000s walking around shooting blanks and shit. It was really neat. And the movie, you know, the 30-minute movie wasn't bad.
Oh yeah, no, I've never seen it, but I've actually heard a really good thing. I hear said like they're gonna take that at a time and expand on it to make Terminator 3. And then of course all that problem went down. I said, like you, I saw 2 first, loved it. And I don't know, because it is, as much as I'm like that underground independent guy, it was a big blockbuster, but it was awesome. It was just a fucking brilliant thrill ride. I mean, it's great, it's perfect.
I would almost say that, like,
it's epic.
It's probably the first action movie that I ever saw, like, at least remember.
And see, and I consider it action. Like, to me, for some reason, I don't consider it sci-fi. I'm just like, it's more action. Like, the emphasis is more on the action than the actual technology part. I went back and watched 1, and I think as a kid I was the same way, where I'm just like, man, there ain't much action at all. Like, and it just looked darker and just cheaper. But then as I got older, I really loved 1. Like, I mean, and once again, I ain't saying I still think 2 is the best of the series, but 1 has become my number 2. I think I just like James Cameron's look on it. I mean, I do like that gritty future, and it does have like that kind of gritty.
I
dark.
have seen the final little chase between the robot and Sarah Connor. And it show up in a lot of like greatest horror movie scenes and stuff, you know. And I'm like, but then again, you know, I guess
for his time,
when you're thinking running away from a fucking giant
machine that
robot
kills you like nonstop.
And I think why it's not rated as well is because we've all seen the second one first, probably.
Yeah.
And
probably shouldn't have done that.
The first one's basically an introduction to the concept.
Yeah.
Of the machine taking over.
And this one thing too, like, you know, Cameron, I mean, he was kind of known, but not really, you know. So he did his low budget shit. He did Terminator, didn't have much of a budget. So then when he does that in Aliens, and it's like, dude, this guy's fucking tits. Guess what? Here's some money, buddy. Do what you can do. And then, of course, he knocks it out with Terminator 2. So, I mean, I think that's another thing is the fact that he just didn't really have the budget for it. But I would love to see him come back.
When are we getting Terminator versus RoboCop?
That's my one.
I had the video game.
Was there a video game?
Yeah,
really?
Nintendo game.
That's awesome.
RoboCop versus
I
Terminator.
fucking hated the Judgment Day video game. I never could get past the fences.
I liked it.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like shooting the fences? No, never got
It was
past
that weird fucking motorcycle part 2 that was through, like, the controls always weird. I
That's what I'm
remember
talking
that. Yeah,
about.
okay, yeah.
Trying
It
to
was
shoot the lock off,
fucking-
fucking never happened.
We rented that in 1 for Super Nintendo one weekend, and 1 was actually a really awesome game because there's more side-scrolling, but then that one was just this weird-ass fucking angles, and I was just like, fuck this. We played a little bit. Now I'm thinking about, I did that.
I never got past it. I'm still curious what the fuck happens in that game.
You should contact the angry video game nerd. I'm sure he can hook you up with a...
I think he's
This is an actual guy.
Do what?
This is an actual guy.
Yeah, he does videos here on YouTube. Dude, yeah, he's awesome. James is his name. But, yeah, Terminator 5, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I hope that's one of those franchises that I do kind of hold dear for whatever reason, even though, like, it just...
What's fucked up is I wasn't looking forward to Terminator 4.
Really? I was. Well, it was Christian Bale. The only reason I was Christian Bale.
Yeah.
But the fact he does his Batman voice through that movie killed it.
Dude, he's stuck on that now.
He like, always seemed like in a serious like courtroom
That's his bread and
drama.
butter now.
Yeah,
He's just
making
like
money with it. Why
he's
not?
literally just like in a courtroom drama. He's like, Your Honor, he's guilty. It's like,
The thing that actually got me turned on to Christian Bale, like to actually start watching
American
all
Psycho?
of
American
them,
Psycho.
besides American Psycho,
Oh.
The Machinist.
Oh, okay.
It took me a while to get to that actually. In fact, I'll be honest with you, it was more Batman Begins. And once I liked his performance here. I mean, it was good. But it was like, who's this Christian Bale? And then I saw American Psycho. I'm like, let me check this out. And I'm like, bam, and I fell off from then. Like, it wasn't Batman that turned me on to me. It was literally American Psycho. But after that, I was just like, I watched Equilibrium, which mediocre movie, but he's awesome in it. And then of course Terminal Salvation, fucking Prestige, which is bad fucking
absolutely.
ass. Love that. And then I did watch The Machinist. And dude, the fact that he's willing to drop that much fucking weight.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. He
Jesus
was fucking
Christ.
sick.
I mean, the movie itself is, I mean, it's a good movie.
Movies.
It is, but I'm not gonna lie, was you blown away, or did you kind of see where it was going?
Well, when I watch the movie, I'm fucking analyzing the whole time, trying to figure out what's going on. So by the end, I was just lost, gave up, and just finally did that.
See, the problem with me was they already told me like crazy twist at the end. I hate when people fucking do that shit because now I'm looking for the twist.
Yeah.
So maybe like literally 10, 20 minutes in, I'm like, I wonder this is what's going on. Because there's a few episodes of Twilight Zone, and it was almost like a. There's another movie almost like, yeah, fuck it. Anyways, I just remember going like, that's the ending clearly, and sure enough, that's what it was. So, But yeah, Terminator. What used to be Terminator movies? Did you? Nothing. All right. All right, now this one we're kind of taking a veer. We're veering off here. I honestly thought my brother Lynch was going to be here. He's a hardcore gamer, so I added this to the thing, and then yeah, he ain't here. The Xbox One. Anybody have any input on that?
I don't care.
Yeah, I was saying.
PS4.
PS4. Boom. Okay, that's what I'm talking about right there. Now, okay, you.
I'm not a gamer.
Not a gamer.
I got rid of my Xbox a while back.
Well, real quick, I'll go ahead and just run through this real quick. Then apparently they're trying to make the one stop
Online only, right?
And it's only online only. And dude, like from what I'm hearing, like I don't know the details, so don't crucify me out there. You guys are gamers. I don't really give a shit because I'm not a gamer either. But apparently, like it's like they're trying to make like it's the greatest thing ever. But there's like so many flaws to this thing. And they just keep shooting themselves in the foot.
So they're not going to learn from the mistakes from the 360, apparently.
Well, not just that, they're not learning from mistakes. Like they did, like they're doing what Sony's doing now. Like Sony is watching what they're doing, stepping back for a second, and they're like, okay, and they're kind of following up.
We're not going to do that.
See, Xbox did that with PlayStation. Well, they did kind of PlayStation 2 even, really. I mean, they brought the Xbox out then, but then
the
of course,
Xbox is a good system.
and it is. I'm playing, and it was literally. And I've always been a Sony fan anyway. I like Sony better. I like the controllers better. But it's like those things where, like 360 was the first time I actually started playing this Xbox. I'm like, it's okay. But I am happy to see now that Sony will probably be the ones going to fucking come on top. And just from what I've been hearing on YouTube, my friends who happen to be gamers, and then right now Simon Terrell says Sony or PS4, and I'm really happy to hear that because even though I don't even play games anymore, I'm still rooting for Sony because I'm still kind of pissed at Xbox.
Nintendo's already released their next generation console,
and everybody's just like already like shitting on it.
We got one like that.
How was it? How was it?
It's a Wii.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not into the Wii. I try. I mean, the thing I hate is like I'm a big Mario fan. Like I grew up, and that's the only reason I would see myself ever getting any of these systems. But I didn't get a 64 until like the GameCube was already out, and I only bought 64 for GoldenEye and what's the wrestling game, the WWF wrestling game?
Man,
No Mercy.
2000 or No Mercy.
One of them was just so fucking tits. I had to get that. Like it was actually better than the SmackDown game that came out that time, and I was like, because SmackDown, the wrestling fans out there, was like the greatest game.
SmackDown 2 is
it's phenomenal. Or cooperative mode season, like they hadn't done that since, and it pisses me off.
Yeah.
But fuck it. Anyways, so that's what I even got a 64. I didn't fuck with the GameCube because I mean, to me, Nintendo's always just been cutesy family fucking entertainment. It really is. Now that's not bad. I like Mario, and I can try. If someone actually handed me like a Spiral the Dragon game, I'll play it. I'm not fucking buying it. I'm not gonna go out my way to play it. But if I'm over at your guys' house, just like we're playing Kirby, I'm like, what?
I played the 150 demos that they released back in the day with Spyro the Dragon on it. You know what I'm talking about? They always came out.
Yeah, little demos, yeah. Dude, I had shitload of those.
One.
Dude, one of the demos is like I'd play every game. Like games I would never touch, but I'm like, it's on the demo, and I'd like play. You play like hockey for like 3 rounds. Like, we're done. All right.
One fucking quarter.
So Xbox One. Next thing on there, now I threw this on there because you guys are both big music guys. I'm assuming you are, right? This is the first time I met you.
Yeah.
We're just dropping the story there again. Anyways, Black Sabbath is releasing their 13th album. We're getting the group back together for the most part. Ozzy, Tony. So
it's been a week and a half now.
It has been a week and a half, and so I'm curious. Have anybody heard this shit?
Yeah, yes.
And what do you?
I'm a terrible reviewer. That's why I don't have a YouTube channel. But
well, you do have a YouTube channel, and I'll leave that link down below. But it's more music. You're more music, yeah.
But it's classic Sabbath, guys. It's got modern production, which I know that takes away from it a little bit for me because that's one thing I like about the old Sabbath. And to tell you the truth, the only band like pre-1982 that I'll even listen to is Black Sabbath.
Which is saying a lot, actually, coming from Simon.
But only the Ozzy years. When they got with Dio and stuff, they really got real 80s and a lot of respect to Ronnie and everything. But I mean,
it's not Black Sabbath though.
But this new album hit me. It's got the riffs. It's dark again. It's just heavy. It's Sabbath, dude. I mean, and there's a lot of the drummer going around. Well, I'm not gonna fucking buy this shit because Bill Ward, they didn't include him in the thing. So I don't. Not saying I don't care, but this album is really good. And they got Brad Wilk from Rage Against the Machine / Audio Slave to come play drums on it, and I think he did a wonderful job. He didn't. I don't know.
It's not bad. We were trying to say.
It's classic Sabbath. It's really good. It's just got that. It's got a more crystal clear modern production. I mean, and I can say that to like we were talking about the Friday the 13th remake, for instance, you know, being real polished and just nice, but it's still a good movie. But you know, we prefer the older ones that are gritty and just, you know, real low budget.
I got it.
And that's
I actually didn't get a chance to hear the full album yet, but the one single, God Is Dead, like you said, it does sound like original Black Sabbath. Even, I know you said it's more fresh production, but I mean the vocal style.
And Ozzy, Ozzy sounds amazing. It's probably a lot of studio magic. I wouldn't expect much live, but
he actually sounds like Black Sabbath Ozzy, not fucking, you know, Diver Madman or.
Yeah.
Well, see, and that's another thing I was going to get into also is that God Is Dead was the first single, and it was on the radio months before the album came out, and this guy knows that I was like hating it. I hated on it a lot.
Gripping on it.
I didn't say I hated on it, but it was just.
You're busting balls though.
But the song, for one thing, the song is like 8 minutes long. All the songs on this album, there ain't none under like 6 minutes. They're all long songs. But it was long and it just really drawn out and just kind of didn't really do much for me. It's the weakest track on the album. So if you like it,
I can't wait.
I mean, there's a couple of actual slow songs. If you're familiar with Old Sabbath, they have a song called Planet Caravan. There's, I guess, I don't know if it was their intention, but it's definitely like a sequel to Planet Caravan. It really has that feel to it, even the bongos and everything.
Oh, wow.
The lyrics and the vocal style and everything really reminds me of that.
Like, I'm incredibly intrigued to hear this album. Like I said, there's probably 30 fucking people in the studio that tell them exactly what to do because they have that fucking right now. They've earned it, but still amazing. Whatever, it's great production for the one single that I've heard. I was awaiting this album every fucking day, like counting down the days, and then like 2 days until it came. I've been so fucking busy, I haven't had a chance to catch up with it.
And right from the beginning, I mean, the very first riff, the very first song, it is no, you don't stop until it's over. So, I mean, I would, in a percentage out of 100%, I'd probably give it about an 80. I mean, it does have a few things that, you know, but it's...
Still, overall, it's definitely recommended.
It's a band full of 60-year-olds still playing metal.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what I'd be more into, I guess, the fact that, you know, they're still, cause that's something I really hate. Like, a lot of bands, I'm more of a classic rock guy, and I always hate, like, when they're, like, an old band's, like, or a new album, you're like, man, this sounds like shit, or it's just, like, they got really mellow, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm still an angry little fucking punk, so I want to hear angry fucking, you know, rock music, and you don't get that anymore, so.
Nobody wants to hear a New Journey album.
I want to hear a Journey album.
There's a few parts.
I just want the little Asian dude to do all the lyrics and everything.
When this guy here, whatever his name is, was saying something about
Teddy. It's Teddy Watts. Teddy fucking Watts.
There's a couple.
Mr. Watts, I'm sorry, I didn't know he was gonna be like this here.
There's a couple of parts that are more melodic, and his vocals do sound a lot more like Ozzy solo.
Okay.
Even musically, it kind of reminds me of Ozzy solo.
You kind of can help that up. I mean, literally, he's been solo for so long that, you know. Well, we get the Black Sabbath, like I said, with the hit, we talked about this right before we started the show, and I joke like I don't really care for them. I do like you know, their mainstream shit like War Pigs and NIB and fucking Paranoid, obviously. But as far as I mean, I never really went back. I actually had one album that was like a greatest hits that had like both him and Ronnie, and I went through it once, and I honestly it was just more, I guess, mellow metal kind of thing.
For 1969, 1970, that was Slayer, you know,
that
was like
that
the
was the
heaviest
fucking thing. And I'm sure
it scared the shit out of me.
If I was to literally like sit in a room alone, turn it on, listen to the, you know, like, cause when I listen to new music, that's what I gotta do. I gotta literally be by myself, no distractions. I actually gotta listen to the lyrics, the music. I gotta listen to everything. I'm sure if I did that with this, I'd probably love it. Cause Pink Floyd's the same way. Like, I honestly, if I was listening to Pink Floyd, I'd just be like, fuck this. But when you actually listen to it, and you actually immerse yourself into it, it's some brilliant shit. And I feel like the same way with Black Sabbath. I would do it with Black Sabbath, I'd fucking love them, but I just haven't given that chance yet. And
they got this horrible, like, and I guess I'm not going to say it's horrible, but they've got this stigma that follows them around that they're these big Satan worshippers.
Oh, yeah.
And it's actually very much the opposite. Like, if you really... Satan's mentioned in their lyrics a few times, but, you know, that's all that people hear is the word Satan.
Well, it's also the story, too. I mean,
but they don't fucking listen to the context. And, you know, I mean, it's...
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's part of the story. And if you look at Ozzy, just in general, that guy's very spiritual. More, you know, into the, you know, Christian faith more than he would be on the dark side of things. So, I mean, it's just like, it's all, like you said, the context. You hear Satan... down there worshiping. It's just it's part of the story.
Yeah,
it's
I
character.
just pretty much ignore all like personal thoughts coming out. It's
Yeah.
just the fucking lyrics.
Well, it's that, but just like I think all metal bands went through at one point or another. Just like they don't only listen to like Kiss got that shit. I'm like, Kiss, really?
Yeah.
You're getting like devil worship from those guys?
But Sabbath's lyrics were.
Oh no, they were. I mean,
pretty positive.
Well,
they were one of the first bands to ever just look at life. Like I mean that's like the staple in metal now.
Yeah.
But just like look at life and look at the dark side of life.
Yeah.
And say, everything, especially in the '60s, everything's not rainbows and flowers and puppy dogs.
That's why I think that's what
there's
actually
war and there's famine and
Yep.
there's pain and there's suffering and
And you're right. I mean, that's one of the first things I got into them for because I did know that they were like the first ones to actually be like, you know what, fuck, this ain't all hippie shit. This is there's stuff out there. And the fact that they also were really influenced by horror movies. So that's another thing I'm just kind of like I want to listen to them. So. Like I said, I'll definitely, I don't know if I'll check the whole album out or not, but like I said, it's weird because, like you said, it's been out for a while. I have yet to hear a single on E-Rail, I think because it is so long that most people are just like, let's not play it too much. So,
I don't know. If you're a Sabbath fan, you're like, we'll play and listen to it.
Yeah.
I did. And like I said, not really liking the single.
Yeah.
I still, man, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I
checked it out.
Yeah, I was going to anyway.
Yeah.
But maybe I went into it with low expectations. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that happens a lot for me. I mean,
you're incredibly overly critical of many things.
Music.
I was like, yeah, he's definitely. That's somewhat movies too.
Metal.
It's nothing wrong with that. What are you a big Sabbath fan? Big fan? Got on the iPhone? Okay. Moving right along then, we got Curse of Chucky. You guys heard about this? The next chapter, if you will, in the. They're reverting back. They're almost dropping Bride and Seed altogether, like it never happened. Which I'm kind of disappointed because I'm a huge fan of Bride Chucky. Seed wasn't bad. It was fun for what it was. It did get a little too cute. We actually did Bride Chucky last night. It was what we reviewed on the show. I love Bride. I think Bride's awesome. I'm kind of sad to see Jennifer Tilly on. I really like her. I like Tiffany, like the character. I can care about the fucking little female kid they had.
Yeah.
Glenda. But I'm kind of curious. Now, the thing was for a while there. I guess like two different studios were making two different movies. One of them was actually making just Child's Play 4, and then the other one was doing Curse of Chucky. And Brad Dourif was going to do them both. Now I don't know if I just misread that, but it's on BladeDiscussing.com, and that's exactly how they made it sound. Like they were
See, that's definitely a spot right there. Like whether they do a remake or a reboot or whatever, it doesn't matter. Brad Dourif has got to voice Chucky.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean it's like Robert Englund and Freddy. I'm sorry, dude. I did not fucking like Jackie Earl Haley being Freddy Krueger.
Doing his Batman voice.
Doing his Batman voice, pretty much. Yeah. Christian Bale as Freddy Krueger. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see right there. But I'm down for Curse of Chucky. I'm not gonna lie. Any franchise gets revived.
Because I mean, and I know I did not do my homework.
Oh, you're good. You're good, Simon. You gotta.
I mean, give me a D- and let me just slide off.
All you slide, yeah. Well,
but what are they doing with it? Is it gonna go back more dark and serious, or is it going to just be funny?
No, it's going to be, it's more of a horror. Which I think that's kind of...
Because Bride was still...
It had horror elements.
Seed was a fucking comedy.
Yeah, Seed was a total comedy.
I would put it in my comedy section if I owned it.
Here's the thing they're trying to do with Curse, is that they're trying to make more like the original. They actually get the doll up. It looks like he does in the first, 2 or 3. Here's the thing, though, is they're trying to go straight horror. That's the problem with a lot of these doll/puppet horror movies. It's hard to play them straight for horror, I believe, in my opinion. I think eventually you just gotta get goofy with it, and I'm okay with that. Like I'm okay, dolls, puppet master,
Chucky took
demonic toys.
A page out of like Freddy's book.
Yeah,
and he's got a personality. He's
exactly
got some humor.
And I'm like, you know what? In real life, serial killers, if they were to be granted, you're kind of cursed in a doll body, but you're granted like immortality, pretty much. No matter what you do, the guy keeps coming back. You mean you're gonna be serial done? Like at one point it's like, fuck it, I don't even want to be human anymore. I mean, and I'm like, why wouldn't it be like? I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I think if I was on the dark side, I'd be humorous with it. American Psycho, I mentioned that earlier. He had a sense of humor.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't want my guy to be like just dead serious, And now we said Freddy. I do prefer Freddy, fucking like part 1. But at the same time, it's a movie with killer doll. I don't want to see a doll doing it straight face the entire fucking. I'm an evil guy. No, you gotta have some humor.
Yeah.
I mean, there was humor in the first one too. There was some humor.
I know,
but I'm cool. I kind of wish they would keep the.
But they went straight comedy.
They did. Well, I'm cool with the straight comedy. I thought Bride was I don't know. I'm okay with that. What about you?
Teddy? I mean, I really don't know what to say. It was half and half, and I actually missed more of the original, because I don't know about you guys, but after watching fucking Chucky, Puppet Masters, I'm fucking terrified of dolls and animals as a child.
Sorry, Teddy. I didn't mean to bring it that up.
Is that what happened to your face?
Yeah.
Did the dolls from Dolls get you?
Yeah. There's a candle went over and I got scared.
No, I mean, you're right, though. I mean, I remember one of the most terrifying scenes for me in Child's Play when I was a kid was when Andy's in the little hospital with the bars, and you see Chucky coming up. And he's just like telling him, like, Chucky's coming to fucking kill me. And there's like, yeah, go back to bed. You know, and it's like, that's pretty scary because, I mean, you're like, who's going to stop Chucky, you know? And you're right, though, there was an element.
At the same time, wouldn't it take, like, one quick punt?
You would think, in all honesty, but that's the thing is, like, he's smart enough to, like, ambush you. That's where, there is rarely like a moment where he's, like, in the alley, and you're, like, in the corner, like, oh, God, no, he's just like, I'm coming, you know, it's never like that. It's always like he's, like, high up, he just drops on you, or he underneath a bed, and he'll cut your Achilles.
Because I like to do that a lot. It's like, overanalyze all the movie. Try to find, like, try to base it in some kind of reality, and think, if that motherfucker was coming at me, I'm just going to kick him.
Exactly, yeah, just
and hold him down, and fucking, you know.
Not going anywhere.
To be over with. The movie would be 3 minutes long.
Oh, it was like in a Bright Chucky. I remember when we were watching that, I was thinking the same thing. What the kind of equalizer was, or the equalizer there was, that Chucky had a gun toward the end. Because there's a scene where like she's carrying the doll, which for logistic reasons you had to have her basically. You can just have the animation or whatever. So she's holding the doll, but he has the gun on her. And that makes sense. I'm like, even though you could probably just like, oh, fucking got you now, but you know, still, yeah, I'm like, you know, we'll let it slide. Because it is a horror movie, and it's funny, it's Chucky, so. Okay, what about you? Now, you got me fucking son through the conversation. Curse of Chucky, come on. Do you want to see it, Curse of Chucky?
Yeah.
You like Seed, right?
Yeah.
You like Bride. Did you see the first three?
I think
Like, we're on board right here.
Yeah.
Devon, get the table. Let's do
I'll
this.
fucking do that hype guy. Get him!
So, Curse of Chucky, you looking forward to it?
Yeah.
Alright.
I guarantee we'll be here.
We'll do. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, when
Like-
it comes to franchises in general, I do just tend to want to go see them in the big screen. Just because
Like we discussed before,
Texas
Texas Chainsaw 3D sucks so bad, but the next one we're
all be there. And we'll be bitching about it the next day on the show. And good stuff. All right, well, guys, we kind of got through all the news segments, and we're going to hit up the, we got some movies coming out this summer, horror movies. Not a lot, but we got a nice little list here. So we'll just start up with The Conjuring. Have you guys seen the trailer for this?
I actually just watched
I
it.
didn't do any of my homework.
You're doing your homework. You see Conjuring?
Now,
All right.
when it says based on real events, do you know your history? Is this were the Warrens real people?
I quit looking at stuff up. I remember when I was younger, I was like, oh shit. I'm looking, and you're so disappointed when you find out like Texas Chainsaw Massacre really wasn't completely bad. I mean, just like
No, it's
small
inspired by it.
fragments. So it's like, after a while, I'm just kind of like, man, really? Like, I'm disappointed to see certain shit. So, I don't know. I quit looking into them. I think the last movie I actually researched was you guys remember the movie called The Fourth Kind about the alien?
Yeah.
They had the movie and then they had the real footage next to it, side by side. And they're like, this is what really happened.
Yeah, with fucking
so-
what's her name? Resident Evil.
Mila
Jovovich.
Jovovich.
So,
And they was where I worked at this factory before, and these people were just like, oh my god, it's based on a true story. It's real footage. And I'm like, all right, let me check this out. And you watch it, and you're like, god damn it. And what pissed me off was, because this is supposed to be real footage, there's a scene where you actually see a UFO, clearly. Just enter the real footage. And then the camera shuts off. I'm like, you know what? Of all the years I've been watching like UFO shows,
they don't just slowly fucking enter.
yeah, never. And I'm like, this is supposed to happen like in like the 90s. So I'm like, that's when I was watching this shit. Like, no one leaked this yet. And that's when I'm like, I'm doing some fucking research. Sure enough, you research it.
It's all
It's
fucking
bogus. I mean, there is a Nome, Alaska, and there are reports of UFOs, but also there's a high percentage of people who just get drunk up there. There's a brewery with nothing else. So it's just Eskimos getting around, getting fucking hammered, and then like, UFO! UFO! And
The
then...
fucking light in the corner is swinging.
That's another thing, too. There was-
How many things have we seen over the
a lot of
last?
things.
And it's one of
Call
those
the
things, too.
police.
It's one of those things too where it's like it is Eskimos, and of course, in Fourth Kind, it's just nothing but white people. Like they literally whited out the movie big time. So it's just like, so The Conjuring. I'm assuming it's probably bullshit. Maybe there is a story. I really don't know. The reason I'm interested is because it was from the guys who did Insidious. Same director, James Wan. And I'm really...
There was a few of the jump scenes that
Yeah.
were pretty fucking intense.
Then did you see the trailer or did you see the teaser? Did you see the hide and seek game?
I watched the official trailer.
Okay, did you see that? They had the hide and seek game in that. The claps and.
No. I did see the chick on top of the
There's a scene and the whole teaser was basically the family moves in, and the mom's playing the game with the kids, hide and seek. She closes her eyes, and the kids have to, and then she go after him, kind of thing.
Like a Marco Polo type.
Yeah, and so anyways, she enters the room, and you see this cupboard in the back, and she's like, all right, I think we'll say Marco. I think it's what she goes, Marco, and then you hear, and then of course she goes into the cupboard, and then that's when the other dog comes in, because that's like the last one. She's like, Mom, you can't find me, and she's like, and she looks back and there's nothing in there. And I thought that's pretty creepy. I was like, that's a pretty fucking good scene right there. But like I've said before, and I've said this on the show numerous times, I can never get excited for ghost, possession, or Satan movies.
I was going to say the same thing.
Granted, there are some really good ones. I have been, I thought the last Exorcism was really good. Exorcism of Emily Rose was fucking awesome.
Underrated.
Really, I love it. Insidious, Sinister. But for every small handful of those movies I get a bunch of other shit. Possession was just fucking garbage. I'm sorry. The more I think about the movie, I just do not like it at all.
You can only do so much with that.
Exactly. And after a while, it's just like but Insidious, they kind of is a fresh spin on it. It was a found footage movie about the found footage. I mean, they had the same camera movement, but there was no found footage. It was like, is this the
how many corners can you hide in and jump out of?
And so with The Conjuring, the fact that the Insidious people are doing it, I'm really happy. But at the same time, when I'm watching trailers, with the exception of that little thing right there, I just don't think it's going to be
anything to talk about. Oh shit!
I'm not. I'm not getting overhyped for it, basically.
That was actually probably the least favorite
of the trailers
I had to watch.
So yeah, Conjuring right there. Well, this from what you guys have heard so far, yay or nays on these?
I won't see it.
You won't see it?
Not a ghost.
On the Conjuring.
No. Maybe a rental. Maybe.
You'll see it because when he goes, you'll go with him to see it.
Yeah, of course. Like in the trunk, we're going. Maybe we're going. All right, up next. Now, this is a movie we've already discussed, and actually we've already seen. In fact, I know. I want to apologize. I know it was awkward that night we went there because I'm in my mask and he didn't go in his mask. He didn't have. He's fucking Simon and I'm a fucking Phantom, and we got dirty looks because of the whole James Holmes.
No, we got dirty looks because we were holding hands.
Well, that was another thing too. We were holding hands and sharing popcorn, but that's a different story altogether.
Where we come from, it's not very accepted.
Not very at all. The Purge. So let's jump on this right now. We'll start right here.
The first trailer that I seen on TV just looked like a big chaotic mess. I mean, great idea.
Yeah.
Fucking one night a year, just murder, do what you want. But like I said, the first trailer was just chaotic, fucking killing, no plot line. The one I watched today, actually, I'm more intrigued now because you understand that there's a family in there that doesn't participate in this, and the little girl lets the guy in, trying to protect him.
Little boy.
So,
yeah.
He does look like a little girl though. I will admit that. First time I saw it at the same time, like it was a little girl.
That's a little boy.
It's a little boy. Yeah, I know.
long
He has the curly fucking hair going
Right.
on. So.
I mean, he sounds like a girl too.
He does not agree. He's a little bitch. But
Ethan Hawke, I am a fan of Ethan Hawke movies.
you know what? I'm turning around this guy. I used to not like him at all for no reason, really. I'm just like, the movie he was in, I just didn't really have a desire to see, like Black Hawk Down and.
Oh, I'm not talking about. What was the vampire flick that he did?
Yeah, I wasn't into that either. Daybreakers.
Didn't like that. I thought it was a good twist
Yeah,
on
it was
vampires.
I didn't care for it. I thought that was just, and the fact that how you cure vampirism is run in the sun and then get yourself doused off in water real quick. Really? Just kills the disease apparently. Just. But Sinister turned me around. I'm not gonna lie. And then after that, I think he's all right in the Denzel movie, Training Day.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, he did all right in that. But no, after I'm not gonna lie, Sinister won me over for him. He won the FAM award for best leading actor.
Oh wow!
Good job, Ethan. You earned it, buddy. Anyways, and of course in this, I think he did really good in this one. What about you, Simon?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I was not going into it with the biggest expectations,
Really?
but still, I believe we saw a trailer, maybe with the Evil Dead.
Yeah, Evil Dead.
And it was immediately like,
The
that was months before,
Yeah.
So I mean, I was definitely looking forward to it for a while, and I had even sent him a message
Confirmed.
thinking like, "Hey, let's go see the Purge
Yeah.
this Friday," and you're like, "Nope, next week."
Yeah. Because the thing is
Because I mean, I was pumped. I mean, really, but low expectations at the same time.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, it's kind of was with, I guess, Texas Chainsaw with me anyway. I mean, I knew it was going to be shit, but at the same time, I'm like, let's go check it out. And once we've seen Texas Chainsaw this year, we've seen
Evil Dead.
Evil Dead. So I'm just like, it's not an event movie, and it's not really a franchise movie, but fuck it, let's go check it out. And like you said, literally you're like, hey, check out Friday. I'm like, ooh, got pushed back to Friday. And so I knew like right away when we were definitely pumped for this thing in different, I guess, areas. I guess
An original idea.
Very original, yeah. I definitely
So
love
a breath of fresh air.
It really was. I tell you right now, I said this before on the show, if I had any complaints, I felt like it was too short.
No, yeah, absolutely.
It was like, don't get me wrong, I like build-up. I'm not saying I'm anti-build-up, but it seemed like there's a lot of build-up and then hardly any purge. So it's just like I was wanting more purge. I could have the same amount of build-up, but kept going with it. Just have a. But with that said, it was a very low-budget movie, and the guy who does it, I think his name is Jason Blum, who was behind Paranormal Activity, fucking Insidious, like every fucking great horror movie that came out in the last like 5 years. The dude's like super producer now, so he knows how to like take like $20 and make a fucking movie out of it. So with that said, I let shit slide. I'm like, you know what, this guy clearly probably just. I was like, guys, I ain't gonna do another ghost movie, but I got another idea. If you guys want to, and then he took what he had, and I think he turned out a pretty good movie.
I think that I don't know what you were getting at, but I think the Strangers comparisons, after I've seen it, the trailers I could see where you get.
Yeah.
I think the Strangers comparisons are unfair.
I
could see where that would come.
I guess, starting off it kind of is, but as the movie progresses, and really the story itself is completely different. It's not just like a random attack. I mean, there is more. It is the Purge. It is. That's the thing behind it. So with that,
So you guys have actually seen this?
Yeah.
Well, I don't understand why people have to wear the mask.
I think it's more like just fucking around.
He mentions it about something about...
It's almost like it's a holiday too, because there's like you set out certain flowers to show that you support the Purge. Because it's one of those things where like it did save the nation. Like when the guys decided like we're gonna do the Purge, crime went down, unemployment went down. So
huge political commentary.
It really was, because it was almost like fuck the poor. Like they're just like saying like how basically like, the rich are the ones who really kind of, because really the poor has nowhere to go, and that's why in the movie it's a homeless guy who's being chased by these guys. And that's another thing that I really like, because typically in movies, just because I guess the Phantom grew up poor, still poor, I tend to say like fuck the rich in these movies too. Whereas Ethan Hawke, he really is likable. It's almost like
he's not a stuck-up rich
He's not. He's actually everything he does, even the decisions he makes. I guess with the company when he is the guy who sells the security systems. He doesn't do it for greed. He does it for his family, and that's what sets him apart. Is the fact that he's never just like you're embarrassing the family. This is for he's also a good dad. He's just doing what he can for, and I think that's what I kind of like. You know what? Okay, I like this guy. And
it's really. I hope this isn't a spoiler because it doesn't seem like it is.
Turn off for 30 seconds. There you go.
But the only thing that's kind of snooty was because his family are against the Purge.
Yeah.
And he's supporting it.
Yeah.
But the kids are more against it.
Yeah, more kids.
And he's like, listen, we can afford protection.
Yeah.
We're okay. We can afford,
And you're right, but
the result refers back to just having the family.
Exactly. I think it is one of those things where you take care of your own first. I think he was more.
I know. Yeah.
But I understand where you're coming from with that.
And thing is. And I'm not getting anything away on this one. Because
I don't think
it could. No, I wouldn't. You could probably pick up a sequel with this story. However, I know they're doing a sequel anyways. I would think you just do another family altogether. Or I want to see a Purge movie that takes place in the street.
That's what I was getting ready to say. I want to see something out on the street.
And that was the original trailer that I seen. I figured that's what it was going to be, is like all the fucking
just chaos, pandemonium.
So I guess that was more of a spoiler than I said, really, because yes, it takes place in one house.
Yeah, it is like what you see in the trailer. It is like it's a home invasion movie, really. At the end of the day, it is a home invasion movie. I think you can still have a storyline. You can have maybe there's a group of people and they have like a friend inside another house, or maybe he just got kicked out. I don't know. Either way, and he's stuck out there to Purge, and they're like debating to go out and get him, and they do, and then of course that's when they get hit by everybody. That's the thing too. because I'm hearing a lot of people now who are just like really. At first, everybody's like, "This is kind of a movie that could really happen." And then you hear like all these reviews now, like, "Well, that can't fucking happen." This is So I'm just like, relax. I'm just saying, in the realm of movies. This is closer. This is will happen more than like a Halloween. Having the guy come back after being killed. I think the fact that it does have its roots in a realistic setting.
Yeah.
I think it makes it just a little scarier. It really does.
When there's tyranny in the country, it's very possible.
Yeah. So. No shit. And I think people actually. I don't want to get off on the whole political thing right here, but
getting ready to. But.
Yeah, it does seem like you're right though. It does seem like if anything, we should pay attention to this movie just a little bit more.
But I can see that happening.
Yeah.
and it be more of a poor uprising.
Yeah.
And
See,
going into these subdivisions and these suburbs and these housing
See-
complexes and literally going into these fucking houses.
Yeah.
And saying, I ain't taking shit from you bankers and you
Exactly.
CEOs anymore.
Yeah. I think I'd be a
It's
freaking.
not that it would be legal.
No, or right. I mean, I'm saying, but
Yeah.
but you know, I think that'd be that's a good idea for like the trilogy, like the Purge 3 would be the poor rising up and
Be fucking
combating these rich dudes who are fighting them, and at the same time taking it out on
Maybe
the
the
innocent.
purge has been revoked or
Yeah.
they don't have it anymore.
But yeah, people
a lot
like
of people
Devil's
letting their
Night.
guard down, you know,
Yeah.
and then
Just anybody listening, no, it wouldn't take much for the poor 97% of the country to take over the 3%. Just throwing it out there.
Just remember your friends here at the table is saying if there's a revolt, your friends at the table will get a pass. It's saying so. Now, Sweetie, what about you? Purge. What were your thoughts about it? You liked it. I know you really got into. What was some of your favorite parts about it? Without giving away too much spoilers. The end part, last part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Murder papers.
Leave the Hounds of Hell alone. They're okay. You
No,
know,
it's not
Cheney
the
didn't
dog.
mind them too much. Cheney never complained about the
Well,
Hounds.
I don't
part.
think he told you about him though.
No,
That's probably what
he
it
didn't
is, yeah.
inform. I just kind of took over. He's kind of pussy about it, so.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, you didn't do your homework. You didn't find it. I'm looking at you. That movie Random. Did you find a trailer?
Dude, I tried. Like,
Me too. Okay, they had the list on IMDb of the horror movies coming out, but they didn't have a check trailer out. They had a add to wish list. I'm like, what the fuck? So I read the little thing, which is from what I can remember, it's like a serial killer movie or whatever. Dude picks people at random. I went to like YouTube, and of course when you type in random movie trailer,
You get a random
you get
movie
random
trailer.
movie trailer. So like I didn't find some
Leave
illegal
it
Well,
Sticks
actually,
movie trailer.
whenever you messaged me, I was like,
random.
well, it was and random. It was still in quotation. So I was like, is it an actual movie random, or is he just saying random topics that we're going to be discussing?
And more, you know.
So I wasn't sure, but I looked and could not
Yeah.
find it.
So-
Apparently people have been searching for it because it says random trailer as soon as
Yeah,
you R,
it
but
comes up.
nothing shows up.
So we don't really have much to say about Random the movie. It comes out in August, so check it
I
out.
bet there's murder and it's random.
It's probably random. It's random.
So this is something that probably won't have a theatrical release.
It looks like it's gonna be pretty independent or limited.
Straight
So
to DVD.
not for DVD, but definitely limited. Fucking Lord of Salem.
I mean, that pisses me off.
That
so
pissed me
much.
off so much.
I still
I haven't been on the
This
show
entire-
events about
yeah.
it yet because I
Well,
want to
this-
see that
this
so
group-
fucking much.
This was the group that was gonna go. Every one of us was gonna go see Lord of Salem, and
Not around
don't
here.
fucking come here. It goes to fucking Louisville, and that pissed me off right there. Because if I should have said the town, they'll trace us back there. We'll be butchered by the 3%. Anyways, no, dude, yeah, it tore me. And you know what pissed me off more than the fact that I couldn't see it is the fact that it's a Rob Zombie movie. They got pushed to limited release, and that's bullshit. Granted, like I'm not huge on Halloween 2. I know you are. I'm not. I mean, it's a good movie. I thought it was okay. It wasn't great, but it does not give him the right to get knocked down to fucking limited
From what I
release.
understand, Rob was pretty supportive of the limited release.
Was he okay with that?
Because I think he
He gives it more freedom.
it
to
brought him, yeah, that and
Okay.
it brought it more down to like an older school kind, like with his House of a Thousand Corpses,
Yeah.
you know.
The people who want to see it will find a way to see it.
All right, Rob. If you're my boy and you wanted that, then I respect
But
your.
you know, his big hockey movie, it'll be.
Is he really doing a hockey?
Yes.
movie?
I think he's just doing the directing part because the guy wanted the 70s feel
And it
to
was-
actually look
So he's
like
not
it
gonna be
was
like,
old.
so you're not gonna have a goal that's going fucking fuck the fucking puck, god damn it,
Jason's
fuck.
gonna be the goalie.
Yes. That's awesome. Bill Mosley is the coach. You know?
Oh yeah.
I want to see that. I
think
want to see that
Bill
movie.
had a falling
actually.
out.
Do what?
I think him and Bill had a falling out.
Oh, that's sad.
The character in Halloween 2, when they're at the party,
Mhm.
and he's telling all the dirty jokes on stage.
Oh yeah.
That was
Supposed to
supposed to
be-
be Bill Mosley.
Oh wow.
And, I guess from what I understand, and please don't be mad if I'm totally wrong.
Well, I mean, if you are, tell us
So
anyways.
scatterbrained.
Yeah, let us know what's going on.
I was almost positive that there was a story that Bill Mosley like showed up on set or was even called and said, "We don't need you.
Oh, okay.
We got somebody else."
Oh.
You know, one of those kind of things. But it was set to be Bill Mosley
Oh.
as that character. And I can't think of the guy's name, but
Yeah, I hate to hear that. Though. I really like. I mean, I don't know much about Bill Mosley, but what I've seen, I mean, obviously Rob Zombie introduced me to him more than anything, you know.
Yeah.
So
I
every
mean,
time
we
I see
watched
him,
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 back whenever we
Yeah.
watched it. When it, you know, I'm
I
not
didn't
saying
know.
watching it was new, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's like oh, you know, Chop Chop, blah, blah, blah. And then
Yeah.
House of Thousand Corpses comes out and you're reading up on it.
Exactly.
You're like,
See,
oh, that's Chop Chop. Oh,
exactly.
Cool,
That's
fun.
the only reason.
And then you start looking, because I started looking for movies
Yeah.
with Bill Moseley.
Well, see, that's the thing. Is like a lot of times, like a lot of Rob Zombie guys. In fact, like I'm like, he looks kind of who the hell is it? And I'm like, oh, that's Ken Faree from Dawn of the Dead. I'm like, oh shit. And then that's when you start to realize like
Kenan Kel.
Kenan Kel, yes. So Roger Moore, Lattimore, what's his last name?
I'd say he did
Yeah.
did a lot. He did a lot to reboot Sid Haig.
Yeah,
too.
Sid Haig. Yeah, I mean,
He was
literally.
actually a cult star back in like the 60s.
Yeah, he did a lot of the blaxploitation films with
Yeah.
Pam Grier. So, and I actually kind of knew him because I went through a small phase where I watched a lot of these blaxploitation films when I was like in junior high. So whenever it came around, like Sid Haig, I'm like, holy shit, really?
And he just plays the greatest, like just dirty redneck.
He does. I mean, he's great at it, And that's the thing. I mean, I love all these guys like Rob Zombie's brought back. So to hear like Bill Moseley may have fallen out.
Then that's just speculation.
Yeah,
But
we don't. Well, the thing was,
in case Bill's watching, he's
He was
like,
supposed-
sons of bitches.
he does watch the show regularly, actually. He was supposed to be at Days of the Dead, and he canceled. He has a movie he's filming, I guess. I was like, it's not a Rob Zombie movie, so I don't care.
I hope there'll be some reporting from there because we'll meet back up.
All right, yeah, definitely. But okay, so moving on from random, we got World War Z. All right, well, sweetie, we take the lead on this
Can
one.
we say World War Z, 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 Z?
World War Z. Now, you tell me before that you do want to see this movie.
Yeah.
Well, so what about it? What are you excited for about it? I mean, what's the?
That's awesome.
It looks good. It's great right there. All right.
Brad Pitt.
All right.
Okay, here's mine.
All right. Go ahead.